Bernard. We got Plank sitting in as a guest today. Tim, Guy, and Dr. Quick. Hey, what's up? Victory Sunday. Victory Sunday. Bears win.
Bear down, baby.
All right, let's go.
Club Dub.
Club Dub open. Who's DJ?
Club Dub. Half price.
Okay. Hey man, it's always good coming to these programs and talking about a win because we didn't went through 4 years of coming talking about W. So this year 5, and we talking about some victories now. We pretty much. I mean, this game was pretty much a wrap going into the third quarter.
Yeah.
We've been talking about trust the process for 3 years now. We quick. Yeah. Trust the process.
Wait, first of all, I like to be known as the artist formerly known as Judah Tribe. As we said in the pregame show, Bajan got in the game today, so everybody should be happy.
That made the difference, man. That's why we got the W.
Yeah.
No comment.
Let me show you what we're talking about. There you go. I got your names right there so everybody can see it. Right?
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, Bears win 36-10 today. You know, as fans, you know, you got to play the people that's on your schedule. And if you get an opponent that you seem to, on paper, outclass, then it's your job as a team to outclass them. Because on any given Sunday, anything can happen. Because, you know, you looked at the first quarter, it was 7-7, early in that game. So, what y'all got?
Well, a couple good things, right? First of all, the Bears scored a touchdown in the first quarter. You know, that made a difference as far as setting the tempo. So they at least had it where they could establish offense. It looked like Shane Waldron had a clue. Now, a lot of that might have happened because, you know, Carolina was debilitated. They didn't have a lot of their players or whatever. But, you know, like you guys just said, you got to beat the team that you're playing. So, you know, there's no such thing as we only beat them because they had this guy. They didn't have this guy. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You got to beat the team that you're playing. We did that today. I'm going to take the W.
You going to take that dub?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to take that dub too. Hey, what you got, Tim?
Well, I'll just say I continue to like the balanced attack. As I was saying before the show started, I really feel that we weren't playing complimentary football at all. 52 pass attempts a game is just not going to get it. But now that you're actually committing to the running the ball, those play fakes are going to start to open up the passing game. So I was really encouraged by the play calling. The line play was decent enough. You know, I think he only took maybe 1 or 2 sacks, so that's not bad. And he got rid of the ball too. You know, stop holding on to the ball so long where, you know, that pass rush can get to you. But overall, defense, you know, continue to play well. Only 10 points given up. I think they are living up to expectations. But again, I think Caleb is starting to get, you know, like gradual improvement is happening with him. And hopefully by week 8, you know, he'll really start to come into his own. And by the end of the year, he'll be hitting on all cylinders. So, you know, I'll take that.
Okay, you take that dub. Okay, what you got, Quick?
Well, anytime you can get a W in the NFL is a good thing. I saw some really good things today as far as on the offensive side of the ball. Spreaded the ball out really well today. And then my guy, who I keep vouching for, DeAndre Swift, had a really good game. Still not feeding him enough to me because he's electric. He can make something happen on any play. And, man, I applaud him for running behind that Swiss cheese that we got up front. But anytime we can get a W, that's pretty good. You know, we starting to gel a little bit. We got 2 victories in a row on a rebuild team, so that's going to be pretty good for me.
What's going on, Guy?
Nothing. Go watch Ghetto Gaggers later. it'll make sense to you later. But anyway, I think they're jealous too. What I like now is the fact that it seems like they know what they're doing. I'm still kind of suspect with the play call, but in order for us to kind of maintain this momentum, man, we got to run the ball more. This is McKinney today. I mean, I think the defense is like 32nd, so we were supposed to do what we do. We're looking for participants in NFC North to pass the ball like this. I mean, we may not get 28 points from it, but so far, I'm not going to complain. The dub, dub.
Okay, hey guy, you kind of fading out a little bit when you was talking.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanna start off by saying this is look at the bottom of the screen. Caleb
Yes,
Williams
sir.
is 100. Well, has passed for 1,091 yards for the season. That is, I don't know if it's official, but I'm gonna say this. That's probably the fastest that any Bears rookie quarterback has ever got to 1,000 yards passing.
You're right. You're
Uh,
right.
you've
Hey,
done it through 5 games, so he's on pace to have a good year. You're gonna have your ups and downs, but that's what you want to see from your quarterback. He finished the game. I believe what? Hold on, I had the stats right in front of me. Probably like 126 pass already. I think that's what it was. What do we have?
yeah, 126.2. You got it.
Okay,
Hey,
126.
No
Go ahead.
interceptions.
No interceptions. Second game, no turnovers. That's progress. I'll take that victory.
Yeah, nutty.
because there's gonna be some people out there that say, I don't care what he does, he sucks. Justin Fields should still be here, or we should have took Jaden Daniels. That's all. It don't even matter what he does. It don't matter what his stats are. I don't even know why we read the stats. It's just gonna be somebody else to say, Justin Fields, Justin Fields. It doesn't even matter what this guy does. He could win the rest of the games this year. Justin should still be here. You're like, dude,
Right.
what is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, to your point, quick. People have to decide what they want out of the Bears team. Do you want productivity, or do you want them to look good? The last couple of years, a couple of those games they looked good. They just lost the game at the end. So, a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, we have won 10 straight home games. That is no small feat in the NFL. Over the last 2 years or whatever. That means we're going the correct path. Let's do some Judah tribe. You're gonna be in trouble today. All right.
He got his wish today, though. He got his wish.
That's okay. The other thing we have to decide on: there's a difference between knowledge versus wisdom. So everybody ends up talking about we didn't do this or we should have did this or the guys we played against weren't this good. You can only beat the guys that are on the field that you're playing against. Any given Sunday, you'll get beat by another team. The difference between knowledge and wisdom is knowledge is knowing what to do, and wisdom is actually doing it. So if they actually doing it, they deserve the credit for that. So we're gonna hear a lot of people saying, "Well, we played a substandard team. So what? That's the team you beat. Take the W and keep on going." That's all I got.
Hey, Plank, the difference of what you saw in, say, a game like today than what you saw last year, the Bears had at least, I know the Denver game for sure, where they was going into halftime kind of clinching. What the Bears did this year that was different in this game was they kept playing. They didn't just take their foot off the pedal and thought the game was over and kind of let up. They played and they pressed on, and even they got in field goal range, they took the field goal. They didn't just start getting careless. They kept, and that's one thing about football. It ain't over till the fat lady sing, and you have to keep pressing on because you 2 or 3 mistakes happen, and then all of a sudden that team getting confidence because football is about momentum. It's so much about momentum. If that momentum swing, it starts swinging the other way. What you thinking, Quick?
Hey, go ahead, quick.
No, I'm just sitting here, I'm looking at some of the stats and things like that, just trying to look and see. I'm always the one that say, hey, we played a good game, but what are the areas we can get better in?
Right.
Moving forward to the next week and things like that. So that's all I'm looking at, just trying to figure out what we can get better at, and just trying to make sure that we stay on point. We got 2 victories in a row, and Matter of fact, our actual conference is one of the only conferences that has everyone in it that's around 500, at least 500.
Yep.
So
Yep.
this is a tough NFC North. Like you said, any given Sunday, anybody could be beat. The Panthers actually won a game already. I can't remember against who, but I think it was last week when
Raiders.
Dalton first got in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they beat a decent football team. So you got to take your wins when you can.
Yep. So
You know what?
I like to provide stats to sometime. I think as fans, sometimes we are emotional, right? And sometimes what we're saying doesn't match with the game that we watch. Caleb completed 69% of his passes today. You can't do much better than that in the NFL. So to say he was inaccurate today, I'm not sure what game you're watching. And you even actually had a drop by DJ, which would have put it at 72% completion. And you had about maybe 2 to 3 throwaways, right? You just throwing it away, which gonna happen in any game. That's why you have to credit a quarterback who has a perfect game, because to have a perfect completion rate is so difficult because it's some pass you just throw away. And think about it, even when you spike the ball, you end up getting an incompletion just from a spike.
You're right. Hey, Bernard, I always try to take it above board or whatever, but at this point, the ghost of Judah tribe, he's trolling us. He doesn't want to listen to reason or whatever. He just always wants to get out here and have something negative to say. If you had positive things to say, even if you disagree, we can have that discussion. But some of the stuff you're saying is just ridiculous. So I'm not even going to interact with you anymore. So that's my 2 cents.
Man,
nothing positive
even
come out of me interacting with him. I'm just letting you know.
Hey,
so
wait a minute, you heard this guy named Donald Trump?
I heard him, yeah.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
There you go. Okay.
Hey, so Bears win today, and Tim made a great point today that the Bears had a balanced attack, and they was pretty balanced last week as well. It makes a difference because the Bears had about 39 running attempts today, 29 passing attempts. That's a balanced offense. When you say balanced, that doesn't mean those numbers are going to be exactly equal, but they should be within a certain frame of work versus what we had in game 3 where they had 52 attempts. But we had a show. We have 2 shows on Bears Banter podcast. We also have a show called 2 Minute Drill, and we kind of covered these stats. I'm gonna flash it. Game 1, Caleb hit a 55.7 passer rating, 93 yards, no turnovers. Game 2, he was 23 of 37, 174 yards, no TDs, 2 interceptions, quarterback rating of 51. Okay, game 3, 33 of 52, 363 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interception, 80% passer rating. So if you don't see it's trending up, you just don't want to see it. Caleb Williams, hold on, get the other one. Game 4, Caleb Williams, 17 of 23, 157 yards, 1 TD, quarterback rating of 106. So you go from the 50s to 100 to another game today of 126. Last week, he was at 73.9 completion rate. Today, he was at 69, would have been at 71 or 72. So some of the inaccuracies that we're describing, we kind of stuck on 3 games ago.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Which I got.
That's what fans do. I mean, they pick a side. I mean, you pick a side either way. This is what I want. This is what I like. This is what I want to see. And if it ain't that, then I don't want to look at it. It's just that's just what it is. I mean, I'm looking at the stats. We had 424 total yards of offense today. I mean, what else can we do? 425? We ain't get an extra yard. So we suck.
But I see these teams. I see these people. Can you hear me? Is it better?
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot better.
My situation is this: people talk about, oh, these guys were injured, they're this and that. You could take this Carolina team and play the top 10 ranked teams in the history of college football, and they'll win by at least 3 touchdowns. So we don't worry about who injured. You play who's in front of you. I mean, look at Buffalo. Buffalo just lost. The Jets, who I knew wasn't going to beat Minnesota, they lost. all these teams that are considered great that lose. What happens to a team that's like a Kansas City? Say if Kansas City lost to Carolina, then what would be the excuse if they had 18 players out? Oh, well, Kansas City sucks. It's like it's football, man, on any given Sunday.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Got a
But
point.
Kansas City always lose to weaker teams all the time. They always lose to
Yeah.
somebody like Carolina or something.
Mhm.
They're
So
overlooking them. They're overlooking them. That's why.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say today's offensive MVP. I have to give that to Swift because he said a lot of different plays. Some of those plays that he came out to, whether running the ball or off those screens, they made the difference. One screen, I think he got like 35 yards,
30
something like
something.
that,
Yep.
circling in and out. So this dude is really showing up and he's making a difference
Mhm.
with how the team is
Yeah.
looking. Now we get an idea of what the vision was from Ryan Poles. You know,
Mhm.
so we can. Hey, don't even post what that clown is saying no more. At this point, he's just trying to get a reaction. He can have that
What,
reaction. I have no problem having a
what,
debate with anybody. But what this dude is talking about is just crazy.
That's the
Just
what,
title of
crazy.
one of his
yeah,
videos.
I'm really happy with the way Swift is playing right now. I
Mhm.
remember him last season, and I thought he was dynamic. I thought he was an electric back, given an opportunity that he could really make some things happen for the Bears. But I was also very concerned because I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I know everybody in Chicago is praising Poles, but I'm very critical of him because you've had 3 years to fix that offensive line. And to date, you brought in Darnell Wright from Tennessee with the eighth pick, 2 years ago. Uh, Beyond that, I think Braxton Jones is a backup, man. And I've said that since day one. I think they really should have brought in a quality left tackle, whether you draft one or whether you bring one in free agency. And they still haven't done that. And Shelton, to me, man, he couldn't block a scam caller, man. I mean, I just don't believe in the O line, man. And Pryor seems to be a little bit better. I don't really know anything about Pryor, but that offensive line is just shaky as hell, man. And why do you keep ignoring it? You keep saying that you're going to commit to making the offense better, but you don't address the trenches. That was a problem with Justin. It's a problem now. Why do you keep ignoring this? So that's
Tim,
that's my 2 cents.
Mhm.
Tim, I disagree with you. And here's the problem: you got to think about the climate and where the Bears were at the time when Ryan Poles came in. You had a team that had a whole lot of salaries with older players that weren't living up to those salaries. He had to remake the entire team. First draft, he had 2 second-round draft choices. So he
Mhm.
turned those 2 second round draft choices into starters. The next draft, he ended up he had an offensive lineman that he got. He got DJ Moore from a trade. So he was slowly building the team. So at some point, there's only so much you can do on any given year. You can't make over your entire team. You don't have a salary cap. You don't
I'm
have the
not
players.
asking him to. I understand that. I know you can't address all the holes that they had. I understand that. I know why they let go of those big contracts,
Okay.
especially Khalil Mack. I understand that. But I'm saying each year you could have at least brought in 3 to 4 offensive linemen, man, that could have been difference makers
If you do
each
that,
year. And,
then
and to me,
each year you
it's
don't
either
have.
that you're not evaluating them properly because the guys you brought in have been garbage. Nate Davis, I don't even understand why he's still on the roster. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh,
If
go
you
ahead.
bring in 3 or 4 offensive linemen, what draft choice position would they be, first or second? Because if you're talking about guys that you're gonna get in the third and fourth round, those are not generally not difference makers. He ended up drafting a couple of guys that were fourth round offensive linemen. They didn't pan out. Okay, so you have to think about the vision of what you're trying to do with your team. That's just like your check my check at work is $3,000 a month. My mortgage is $400,000. I can't pay the whole mortgage every month. I have to sit back and develop a plan on what I need to take care of and what's most important for that check to take care of for me to go forward. That's the same thing Ryan Poles is doing.
Yeah, a few
What you
years
got?
ago, we did a show on the draft classes of the Bears. I believe it was 2022. We did a show on it, and you have to almost look at the long-term effect of it. And really, this goes back to Mitch Trubisky. When you're giving up multiple first-round picks for a player that doesn't work out, it sets your franchise back. They had the issue. Their line was getting old, and Kyle Long got hurt. They needed offensive players then. They didn't have first-round pick. Then in 2019, they draft Roquan Smith with their first pick, which is a linebacker. Then in 2020, what they end up doing is now they finally got first-round picks, and they give up a lot of their draft capital to do what? Draft Justin Fields, right? So now you go another season or two without what? Being able to address the line in the first round. You come in 2022, you don't even have a first round pick. Your first picks are in the third round. That's how they ended up with Braxton Jones, because Braxton Jones was a fifth round pick. But your point is valid, Tim. They got to address the line. But when do they address it? And it's hard to address it in free agency, because Nate Davis is the prime example of when a lineman go into free agency, there's probably something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably something wrong why the team let that person go in free agency.
Right. That's why I couldn't give him credit for the guy they brought in from Buffalo. I just felt like, well, if Buffalo is going to let him hit the free agent market, obviously something's wrong. But we talk about what a great pickup that was. That guy's injured right now. So how great was it?
Who else you gonna get? I mean, it's only so many people you could get. But I would say today, offensive line wasn't a problem. So we kind of like beat the
not
big
today.
ones.
Not today.
Maybe I don't know.
Not today.
Let me add this though too. When you go in free agency, they gotta want to come here, right? So just because you're a free agent, that don't mean I want to come to Chicago. It's cold. The team was sucking. The management was terrible. The coaching was terrible. So you have to want to come here. And there aren't many people that's just gonna say, yeah, you know what, Chicago sounds great in November and December. Yeah, that's where I want to be at. That's not happening. You know,
okay, valid point, bro.
Oh,
valid point.
San Francisco's calling. Let me check that out. Let's see what's going on down there.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
Guy, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say they see a picture of Jay on the TV. They're like, "Oh, I really want to come here." Then they come up in here like I got all these clothes on, feel like I'm sitting on a popsicle. You're right, man. But you're right. But you know what? And I do get what you guys are saying about offense, because I made a comment on the text about Tevin. Tevin got injured. Now he's gonna have a contract coming up soon. Now the question is, he's gonna ask for that money. Now, how do you give a guy? He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. How do you give a guy like that money? When he's injured. So maybe we do need to, like this next draft. Maybe we really need to concentrate on working on the offensive line.
We absolutely must concentrate on the offensive line.
I think
no doubt.
I think that's part of the plan. You got long-term goals, you got short-term goals. But when he looked at it and saw all of the specialists that he could get right now, he's like, okay, let's just bring these guys in. Let's see what happens. I gotta address this. I mean, everybody knows we need an offensive line, including Ryan Poles. And I'm not saying that, I'm not thinking that he's at home right now. Like, oh, well, we can get by, because what do I call Braxton Jones? Serviceable, but not Super Bowlable. That's him.
Right.
I've been saying that.
A backup.
Which is what you get out of a fifth-round player.
Exactly. From Southern Utah. Yes, sir. Utah. Yes, sir. That's exactly what he is.
He deserves his point. The Bears had to choose, to me, in this draft, when we get back to the game. The Bears was choosing between, do we want a lineman or do we want Rome Odunze? I think that's really what the choice was. Some people are going to argue, was it the quarterback? The quarterback was off the table. They'd already decided on that. They decided on that mid-season. So that's just fans' personal choice. But management was deciding on, do we get Rome or do we get a lineman?
Ola Fashanu.
What's that?
Ola Fashanu.
He was already gone. He was already gone.
Okay.
Yeah, he's already gone, because that was
my pick though for left tackle. That was my pick.
Yeah, he was gone about 5 or 6, I believe, in the draft.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And anybody, Peter, what's the guy name from Northwestern?
Northwestern,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
he was
That was the year
terrible
before,
too.
right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the year
they
before.
they was the
Toronto.
two top ones.
Look, hey, when he drafted
Oh, you
Donnell
talking about
Wright,
Joe Alt this year? I'm sorry. Quick, go ahead.
when he passed up on Jalen Carter and took Donnell Wright, everybody was like, "This dude crazy. What is he doing?"
Right?
So it's like you can't win. It don't matter what you
But
are not.
Jalen Carter though, man, that was plug and
Nope,
play.
nope.
I get
Please,
Darnell Wright was solid, but
yeah.
Jalen Carter was plug and play. I know we didn't have the locker room to support Jalen Carter, which is why he didn't pick Jalen Carter. He didn't feel comfortable with him with all the baggage and all the things that he had heard or the stuff that was in the media about Jalen Carter. I get that. But yeah,
Because we needed
I
offensive
wanted
line.
Jalen Carter. I wanted Jalen Carter.
Nah,
You
you
know, the
can't
interesting
want Jalen
thing is,
Carter or
look at
offensive line.
Javon Dexter's production right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think right now, if you talk about the conversation of Dexter and Carter right now, you're not even gonna bring up Carter right now because Dexter probably leads the team in sacks. He's actually
As an interior lineman, he's got 3. Yeah, he's got 3.
He's got 4. He got
Overall,
4
I mean,
today.
who else on the team got 3 sacks? I am looking
From the interior, nobody.
What about the defensive ends? What's the highest of the defensive ends?
Good
You're right.
question.
Dexter is leading the team in sacks.
Actually,
Dexter
he's leading the team in sacks.
he's the top interior lineman in the NFL with sacks right now. He's
Right.
got 4 sacks. Jalen Carter has 0 sacks. So it's interesting that everybody will go back and say, hey, he should have got this guy. He should have got that guy. Well, you know, I think he ended up getting the gym. And, you know, Dexter has been playing really well. He's
Yes, he
actually been
has.
driving on defense.
Yes, he has.
I can't call that pick a bad pick. And it ended up being a second round choice anyway. So he was anticipated to be a really good player as it was. So there we go.
Yep. Hey, Michael Baker, thanks for tuning in. Everybody who tuned in to Bears Banter Postgame to show. We're on Twitch TV. We on Facebook today, and we on YouTube. Mike Baker said, of course, it won't be against the Panthers, the Jaguars, or Tilden Blue Division. Tilden was in the Blue Division back in the day.
The Blue Devils.
Blue Devils.
The Blue Devils. What do you say, Blue Devils? Tilden Blue Devils. Yeah. You know what? The funny thing about the Bears is the Bears could be the team that other people say the same thing about. There's other fans that watch football that think of us the same way that we think of the Panthers today.
Oh, this is an easy win.
They think of us as the easy win. They think of us as the team
that offense
quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So that's the funny thing about NFL. You got to take the victories when they come. You don't apologize for winning. See, first game, people was upset because the Bears didn't win pretty. But guess what? The Bears are 3-2, and there's a couple of teams that are 1-4 today. 3-2 keeps you in the hunt. 1-4 start making it where people start checking out.
Yep.
So, hey, what do y'all think about the adjustment on the running game today? I know, Tim, you had mentioned Swift. And my complaint about Swift this year earlier was he was not squaring up his body to the line of scrimmage. And I know they was running a lot of lateral, but some of it to me was on him. He was running too lateral. And I'm assuming the coaches kind of straightened that out with him because now he's kind of running forward. Every once in a while, like even today a few times, dude, stop that temptation spin in the middle of the field. You know, the temptation spin is
get blown up.
That's what I mean. Like that. Spin to another spot, not spin and be in the same spot. He almost got yacked today on that one spin.
Right. But you know what? That's like with Swift too. I see him more of as an elusive back. I don't see him having any reason to have him run up the middle. It's like every time they have him run up the middle, it's like this. But then you get him out, you know, angled out, or you get something in the zone, like a zone run or whatever towards the outside. As soon as you run through the air, it seems like almost every play that he's run up the middle, he's got stopped. And it's not to say he can't do it, but I would just take a guy like that. And I remember they were talking about the wheel route when they had Komet run a wheel route and Caleb threw the ball short or whatever it was. I'm like, why don't they do just like they used to do Shady in Philly? Have him run a real route. But maybe I'm seeing the wrong thing.
Well, I tell you what, early in the year, what we kept saying is that the Bears didn't have an identity, and they didn't. You didn't know what Shane Walter was going to throw out there. He was going to throw a lot of screens, wide receiver, in the rounds, or any kind of crazy stuff. Now, at the very least, I think the Bears are going a long way towards establishing an identity, and that identity is run the ball, quick up-tempo passes, and you see that more in the second half than the first half, and play good defense. That's a winning formula in the NFL. So if we can continue to do that, I think we got a good chance to win.
I want to let me make a point about the speed and the up tempo. I want to piggyback off that comment because I think that's helping Caleb a lot. At USC, everything was up tempo, and I think by speeding up the offense, you see he's more effective, he's more comfortable. So I like that aspect as well as the running attack.
Yeah, it does look a little different with it being faster.
Yeah, Tim. Oh, Tim, that's just an excellent point.
Excellent
And also,
point.
what I do like that they did a little bit late last week, and they did more so this game, was when they went to pass plays, they spread the guys out more. Because once you have condensed set and you also have poor protection, you actually don't help the quarterback by doing that. Because actually, the quarterback has to now figure out, with you having a condensed set, who is the extra man that may be coming. But if you go out to wide packages, right, you at least put everybody out wide. And if somebody's coming, you could kind of see from their footwork or body language. So I do like the fact that they're starting to spread guys out more. And if you just need that one person to stay in it to block, you do. And I also like the fact that they working those check downs. They're making some nice plays on the check down, and Swift making some nice run on those check down. And I'm happy for DJ Moore today. DJ Moore got 2 touchdowns today, over 100-some yards reception. That's good for him. And I think he said something today, not today, but earlier this week, that mattered. He said, I'm going to do it the Caleb way. And I know I said it on this program, and some other people said it as well. He has to run the route that Caleb thinks he's running. That's what he meant about the Caleb way. He can't run the route that he wants to run this early because the quarterback thinks you're going to be at one place. And even though the defender may be giving you this, if he thinks you're running something else, he's throwing to that spot. And that's why at times early in the season, people are like, man, that was a horrible throw. Maybe it was just he's throwing to the right, running.
Yep.
I tell you what, Bernard, there's only one thing. Offensively, I know everybody's worried about the offensive line. I'm worried about it too. There's not a whole lot we're going to be able to do this year. But I'm actually worried about Keenan Allen because I'm counting on him as a $23 million wide receiver to be a difference maker, especially towards the end of the season when we got a rookie quarterback that really needs to get a catch. You counting on that guy to be open. And for whatever reason, it seems like he's slow to come back. He hasn't necessarily adopted this offense yet. So I think that's something we need to continue to keep an eye on.
Okay, Keenan Allen was 3 catches for 33 yards, so there's an average of 11 yards a catch. This is what I'm gonna say. I don't even know how he's playing with that injury. What is it called? Player
fasciitis. I had it for almost a year.
That's a very painful injury.
It is,
and it takes a whole lot longer to come back from that than what he took off. So,
trust and believe. It's everything. When I hear about guys having plantar fasciitis, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's just a little pain in your hip." Dude, it's one of the most debilitating things ever. It's in your foot. But really what the problem is you have like some type of like your fascia, which look like cotton candy that kind of encompasses your muscle to protect it. When it gets stuck, it goes down. It's like an effect where, okay, this muscle's messed up. I have to overcompensate for this one. When that plantar fasciitis come, dude, I don't care. You could put a pillow under your foot. You take a step, it feels like you got to get shot.
Yeah. And the only way I've had that in the past, the only way you can get rid of that is rest, and you have to ice the sole of your foot. They also say that if you have a baseball, regular size, league ball, to roll your foot with
Bubble.
that
Yeah.
or roll it with a frozen bottle of water to help it. But it takes a long time. They say it actually, doctors will tell you or podiatrists will tell you that sometimes it's better to just pull the tendon off the whole way rather than have those little bitty tears in it. And for him, I think he's got those little tears, and it's a problem. So hopefully, man, it'll heal up, but it takes a long time. The older you are, it takes longer.
And it
So
depends. And it
yeah,
depends on
it
where.
can linger all season. Yeah,
Because the way I got rid of mine, man, which was interesting, is I went to a sports therapist, and she asked what was I doing. I said I'm taking a cricket ball and put. She was like, "That's not what the problem is." I'm like, "That's where the pain is." She said, "Well, that's where the pain radiates for your particular case." She went in my calf muscle and squeezed my calf and turned my calf, and I heard this crunch, and it went away just like that. But just like you said, if the pain is in your heel and it's really in your heel, there's some micro tears. And
right.
that's something like you say, you rather just rip the tendon off and have it
All the
reattached.
way, all the way. It's better to just let it snap all the way. But
Because
yeah,
it'll last, and something like that, he gonna be dealing with that all year.
yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's keep in mind in NFL, the most important ability is availability.
Good
Nobody's going
availability,
to
right?
pay $33 million a year for you to
Yeah,
heal up.
right.
So
Yeah.
No,
you can't have it both ways.
I give him
Yeah,
credit for being
that's
out
always
there.
been the knock on him is not being able to finish
right.
the
He's
season.
hurt.
That's been the
He's
knock on
hurt.
Keenan Allen.
Mm-hmm.
He's
He's
going to
hurt.
miss about 4 to 5 games
Yeah.
every. Yeah, you know who we had a quietly soft, not quiet, but a quiet good game today. Roma Dunze. He had 5
Yeah,
receptions for 40 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Those are kind
Agreed.
of
man.
yeah, 5
Agreed.
receptions for 40
Oh,
yards.
5.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
From watching it, you wouldn't really think he had that, but that's a quietly good game. And Komet had 3 receptions for 57 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start
7-Eleven.
taking it from Quick because, like Quick always say, command is 7-Eleven. He always open.
He's always open. Yeah,
Always.
that's true.
Man.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Oh,
did y'all want to get any more points about the offense before we go to the defense?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Hey, Quick, we'll let you start on the defense. I know we usually let Plank start on the defense. What you got, Quick, about the defense today?
We had 3 turnovers overall.
should have been 4.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in the defense last week. We still got a couple things that we need to shore up in the zone. I don't even know. I'm not sure what we're doing. A lot of times we got guys that still running wide open in the zone. We need to shore up our zone coverage, especially as we get later on in the season and start playing some better teams with really good receivers. So overall, I mean, they did well. Dexter again, he's having a heck of a year already.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Edwards is still all over the place. So it's always good to go see somebody making a whole bunch of tackles, and when they get up, it's like there's 53 again. You're like, dang man, how did he get over there?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple good games from a couple people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tremaine
Yeah.
Edmonds today had 10 tackles.
Mm.
No, he had 6. He had 6 tackles. 6 tackles. Tremaine
Okay.
Edmonds, 6 tackles. So that's 5 more than he normally gets.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he had a did he have a defended pass today as well?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
There was one
Still a
play that the
solid
wide
game.
receiver looked at him and decided he didn't want it. He didn't really want that
Yeah.
business. So
I really don't
Hey,
want that.
hey, wait, hold on. Before we get off of me, man, what about that hit from Jaquan Brisker?
I was gonna
Lord,
bring that up. You took that from me. I was gonna bring that up. Yeah.
man,
Yes, sir.
I started when he hit that dude, I started twitching. I was like, Lord have mercy. God,
Easy to
man.
it. Easy. Yeah. Yeah.
It take dude to the sideline and say, "How many fingers I got up?" He like, "Yes." So yeah, he got robbed, dude.
Yeah, that was
Golly.
nasty. That was nasty.
You know what? As I look at the defense and the tackles, what I really like about this is it was like a straight up cornucopia, like a salad. You didn't have a guy that was way up here. It was pretty steady. And the guy who was probably on every play, but really, like didn't stand out like have the blowout game. TJ Edwards, he had 6 total tackles with 4 solos. I mean, he was like him amongst 3 other guys, Stevenson, Edmonds, and Byard. They all had led with 6 tackles as well. But I like to see these guys get out here and the way that they're playing. They ain't playing for stats. They're just playing to knock folks out, and they're flying to the ball, man. I love to see that. I mean, I saw Sanborn actually keep the quarterback from getting that first down. He grabbed his leg and spun him. Just came off the bench, man. That's what I love about them guys that play that next man up ball. Come up there and pretend like you started and get in there.
Yeah, guy. Because one of the things when you look at defensive stats, the thing I say sometimes is, if your stats are too high, that's probably mean you're on defense too much. That's what it could mean too. It could mean you're not stopping the team, right? Yeah. But if you're getting 3 and outs, hey, your opportunity to make tackles decrease, right? Your opportunities to get interceptions decrease because you're actually getting the team off the field, right? So that's a positive. Where the defender is only getting 4 tackles, 2 tackles. Then if we look at the box score and they only got 10, it makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense. It
makes perfect sense, right? Because if they only got 10, you shouldn't have 15 tackles as an individual. That means the other person wasn't doing anything.
Right.
You're right. When we start talking about defense, first, there's a couple different things we can look at. First thing that I look at is what's the average in the NFL. This year, the average of the NFL is 21 points a game. So if the Bears are able to hold the other team under 21 points a game, that means they play decent defense. So as we start going, every point it goes down, I give them a higher defensive score. So if they gave up 18 points, I'm gonna give them a higher score. If they give up 16 points, I'm gonna give them an even higher score than that. That's how I look at it. But the second part of watching defense is the eye test. Sometimes you're looking at, regardless of what the stats say, you're looking at, are they getting off the field on 3rd down? Are they giving up long drives? So there are some situations where the defense, they may get a high score because they gave low points, but they've been on the field for 40 minutes. That's still bad defense. So, I try to be objective in what I'm looking at. Just because they gave up a low scores didn't mean that they played defense. If the other team comes away with multiple first downs and they control the ball, that's still bad defense. Today, the Bears, we're looking at 2 forced fumbles. Hats off to Brisker. I guess he was mad because he didn't get player of the week last week. And he had a legitimate argument. 1 interception and 4 sacks. That's good defense around the board. So 10 points in the NFL. That's hell of a defense.
Absolutely.
I think this is, to me, through 5 games, this is the best open field tackling I've seen by the Bears. And I would say at least since Flu's been here. Is the best open field tackler, because at some point, even last year, the year before, you're getting frustrated because they're missing tackles that should be made. And you're seeing guys bringing guys down. I would say the only real missed tackles I saw today was a few in special teams, right? But on the defense, and I know some people may bring up that long run. There was no missed tackles on that long run. Nobody touched them. That was just a gift. But you know what? I was glad Andy Dalton was giving out gifts. He was in the Christmas spirit today.
How did you call that, dude? You called that 2 minutes before he got the pick, man. I was like, it's about 2 minutes.
I don't even know if it was 2 minutes, man. Yeah. It was less than that because it was
probably.
I think we need an interception. Damn, it is one. What the
heck? But here's something interesting. You guys are right about stats, but then in a game like this, you can look at certain stats and kind of understand. But they went 36-10. Okay, the defense only gave up 10 points. They got 10 fewer first downs than the Bears did. They were 3-12 in 3rd down efficiency, 1-3 in 4th down. They were 0-2 in the red zone. They had 3 turnovers. So they did pretty good, and it could have been worse because the Bears were 4-for-12 on 3rd downs. So when you look at the scores, like the stats will tell you a lot of it, but just like you said, a lot of it is eye test. And to be quite frank with you, man, if I hate to say it, but I ain't trying to don't mean no disrespect. But if Simone Biles' husband gets that interception, it probably would have been another 6.
Yeah, that's true. Hey,
I'm
y'all,
surprised you
I had to change the teams. I had the Bears and the Rams up there at the score earlier. It's the Bears against the Panthers.
Hey, one interesting stat, as you look at the stat line, Javon Dexter had 1 sack, but he had 4 hits on a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, it just pops out. It's like he's getting back there to the quarterback. He's probably on track to have a real good year as an interior defensive lineman.
He's scary, man. He's a scary dude, man.
Yeah. I want to let me piggyback off Plank. He had a great point about the 21 points. I think they've only given up 21 points one time this year.
Yeah.
So I think that the defense is playing great. I don't have any words about them except one thing. I think they're ranked in the middle of the NFL in terms of yards given up on the ground. And that's uncommon for them because they're usually a really good run stopping team. So that's my only concern. But other than that, I thought they played a good game again, but they usually have played well all season. So yeah, I think the defense did a great job.
Yeah, Tim, that's a product of gap discipline with them in the run defense. Guys probably being out of their gap, because if you looked at some of the runs this year, even last week and today, when the long runs occurred, nobody actually touched the guy. So to me, that indicates that somebody on run plays, people are getting out of their gaps. Because at the most part, if you're in the right gap, you should at least make the running back change direction or something. But when you just run, it's just probably over pursuing. Somebody's getting out their gap because they see the ball kind of drifting one way, then the running back kind of like plant his feet, and he's getting untouched in the run game here and there. So they just got to shore that up by staying gap sound and gap discipline to what gap you're supposed to play in, and stop trying to play that other guy's gap. Play your own gap. That's all we need you to do, is be responsible for what you're supposed to be.
Over gapping.
Yeah.
Hey, let's give a grade for the defense, and then we go back and get a grade for the offense. What y'all got as far as grades for the defense?
I'm just on what I see. A+
first.
A-.
I'm giving it an A+.
You got A+?
10 points.
Okay. I would say minus, A-.
A-? Hold on, let me see if I got an A- on my chart. What you got, Plank?
The defense gets an A again. 2 fumbles, interception, 4 sacks, got off the field on 3rd down, controlled the whole game. I don't think they can play better defense than that. And I'll tell you what, here's your challenge. Look at the box scores for every other team, every other game that's been played today, and see if the other team was able to hold somebody to 10 points. That's what I got. What you got, Quick? Come on. Me and you and Tribe of Judah are fighting. Come on.
All right. So this is what I got. All right. So last week I was grading. I wasn't grading on a curve like you were, but this week, I mean, that was a serious curve.
18 points last week, right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like you handed out a Scantron sheet with the answers on it and shit. I don't know.
Cliff notes.
But yeah, so I'm going to give them an A today. But here's why. All right, they gave up 10 points. They gave up 7 early and didn't give up another touchdown. Right? Nobody had 100 yards rushing on them. Nobody had 100 yards receiving on them. They only gave up 120 total yards to what is this? 5 different guys. And receiving wise, they had what is this? 1, 2. They had 9 receivers to catch the ball, and they only gave up 193 yards. They had turnovers galore, sacks galore. That's why they get an A, Plank. Not because, well, we won and they got 18 points. No, their actual points per game is going to decrease. The rushing average is going to decrease. Everything's going to decrease today. This is a game that we needed to go forward to the next game, and we're just going to build off of this. So they get an A.
London.
I'm giving them an
Thanks for the
A.
A. I'm not gonna need to argue about it no more.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them an A too, because even with the big run, they only gave up 120 yards rushing today. They pretty much shut the receiving core down. They made the red rifle look like the black
BB
pistol.
gun. The BB gun.
Like the black pistol. Okay.
Well, he was 7 for 9 with 8 yards, 8 total yards thrown.
Wow.
So that's the worst I've ever seen a quarterback stat.
Senior
Yeah.
snap and pops.
8 yards.
Hey, the long snapper threw it farther than that. Damn.
Yeah, they actually got fortunate didn't have a safety, because they even had a bad snap, and it was that could have been a safety, but that was a good heads up by Andy Dalton. But plays like that happen because the defense is starting to worry the offense, right? So now he's snapping, and the quarterback maybe not paying attention. But anyway, hey, let's get over to the offense. What do y'all have as far as grades for the offense?
Hey,
Offense, our quarterback.
Yeah, they pretty much scored on every drive. So A.
Got A. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm giving the offense an A. Quarterback, no interceptions. He did a good job managing the ball, managing the field. You can see the rookie quarterback is doing a lot better with his progressions, with reading the field. He's actually doing the little things that people are not really paying attention to, but we'll be able to benefit for that by the end of the year. Running game looked much better. Receivers look better. We got to do something about those offensive linemen. But even with that, no matter how bad we were on offensive line, we still were better without having Nate Davis out there. So I think that's a positive as well.
Okay.
I got to give him an A minus, and the only reason why I got to give him an A minus is for one reason alone. You doggone on the 1 yard line and end up on the 15-yard line for stupid penalties. They got to get rid of stupid penalties. Now they did better. They only had 5 penalties, but it's the stupid penalty. We should have walked in, because they were putting a stat up like, oh, there was 14. They're like give up 92% of the time. Carolina gives up a touchdown, and next thing you know, we get a penalty. But that's the only reason why I put the minus on there, just because of the penalty. Otherwise, it would have been a straight up A.
Okay. As far as the offense, I'm gonna go with y'all. I'm gonna give them an A. Guy, I agree with you. And even though they had 4 penalties, you say, or 5?
They only had 5. Yeah.
They only had 1 pre-snap penalty today.
Yeah.
What happened to the Bears in almost all these games were the number of pre-snap penalties? Now, a penalty is a penalty, but pre-snap to me just lacks discipline, because you know what the snap count is. The defense doesn't. And so there's no reason why you should be having false starts. Matter of fact, I think the 1 pre-snap they had might have been where I guess that's considered. That may be post-snap anyway. Both guys was in motion, Mike. It was Komet and Adunze. Yeah. Is that post-snap? Yeah. Okay, that's considered post-snap.
Well, so we call it a live ball foul. So it happened. It happened pre-snap, but it's what we call like a free. It'll be what you would call on defense as a free play. But it's a illegal shift with both guys in motion.
Okay. Yeah, we had one of the viewers said they missed the game. That's the score of 36 to 10. How long was that? Yeah, okay. Andre said he didn't see the game. It was a blowout, Andre. They had about 20 points at halftime. I think it was 20-7 at halftime, and that's the closest it ever got.
Oh, look at Joe. Put Joe Blows up there. That's an interesting one.
Oh, that's Andre.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? How did Swift get a penalty when he just got ran over immediately? They shouldn't even call the penalty on him.
They should have been like even. They should just call it a draw. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. Hey, my grade for the offense is an A, because Justin should still be here. We should have drafted Daniel. But we got this sorry ass dude coming here and throw for 304 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. I'm really upset that he's here. I wish we would have kept the other guy, man. So I mean, they get an A. I don't know, man. Justin should still be here. That's all I'm gonna say, man.
Hey, Mike, he was inaccurate today, throwing 69%. Man, he should have been 99%. You know, he threw for 2 touchdowns. If it was another guy, he probably would have 4.
I mean, let's just call it what it is, man. He sucks, man. He could have threw for 350 yards. You know, Justin would have had 500 yards today. You know.
Yep.
We'll see tonight, right? We'll find out tonight what he's gonna have.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know, when we got a sucky quarterback, rookie guy, first round pick, you know what I mean, he just sucks, man. I mean, he's got to do better than 304 yards.
Justin was throwing on a curve. He was throwing on a curve, man.
I mean, let's just call a spade, man. If we'd have drafted Daniels, we probably would have had 1,000 yards today. I mean, let's call it what it is.
And in this case, looked like he was trying to cover the spread, right?
Mm.
Oh man, that was crazy. Yeah,
I mean, but when you suck, man. You only gonna get 300,000.
I know, man. Sprinkle.
I think it's only his second or third time for throwing over 300. He should have been in all 5 games over 300. Dude sucks, man. Put Tyson Bagent in. Shit, he would have had 700 yards.
You know what's funny to me though? I mean, I know we're talking about Jaden Daniels, but fellas, have you all ever considered the fact like we had Cliff Kingsbury in? We interviewed him, right? Didn't we interview Kingsbury as the OC? And we said no to that.
No,
and we did with Walden.
He turned the job down. Cliff
Kingsbury. Oh, he did. Okay. I wasn't sure how that played, but yeah, I know he was in Chicago for an interview. And I'm like, why did we say no to Kingsbury again? But okay. Yeah.
No, he turned the job down.
He didn't want it. Okay. He didn't want it.
I was like, man, something's weird. Because when they said that we was interviewing Kingsbury, I was like, oh man, we taking Williams. You know, I was like, this is offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. And when he turned the job down, I was like, wait a minute, what are we doing here?
Right.
Yeah. We talked about that on Thursday, Tim, on the 2-minute drill show with Christian.
Okay.
And, Jay had sat in for D Hamp, where we talked about quarterback performance, and that about Cliff Kingsbury did come up. But that's one of the things too that everybody don't want, like Plank said, not Plank.
Don't want to come to Chicago.
They don't want to come to Chicago. It's all too about situation. It's all about relationships as well, right? Do I know this head coach or I don't know this head coach?
Right.
Is it stable, right? Some people may say, hey man, I don't know. Right? They might look at Everflus and say, man, I don't know.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Well, here's the thing. Go to Washington with Dan Quinn or come to Chicago with Eberflus. Tough choice.
Oh, I don't know. Can I buy a vial? Can I buy a vial? Can I have a hell no?
Hey, special teams. We got any grades today on special teams today?
Man, that boy.
They missed that extra point.
Yeah, that's
not good. Not good. Come on, Cairo. What's happening?
But the sad part about it is a lot of our scores always depend on what he does, really.
I know, right? He's been an MVP of the team for the last couple of years. But anyway.
Interesting fact is that the guy he beat out missed 1-2 for Carolina.
Eddie Pinero.
Yeah, Eddie Pinero, you're right.
You got Santa Claus versus Panera Bread. I mean, it was a match made in heaven, man.
Yeah, but I tell you what, if that boy Torrey Taylor was a bouncer, his whole leg would be up somebody's butt when he kick him out, man. That dude, he had a bad game today. He only kicked for an average of 43 yards.
Yeah, he is definitely the new Reggie Roby. He is a new red guy. Like, he is a killer.
He's a killer.
Yeah. They missed the extra point, but other than that, there was nothing glaring. Today wasn't a game that special teams really played that big of a difference.
No.
So maybe a B, right?
Yeah.
B.
Yeah.
They did okay. B.
Yeah, it was okay. I do get concerned every once in a while when you see these short kickoffs by Santos, because really the NFL really doesn't want you. Well, they do kind of want returns, but then teams are kind of putting people out there they kind of like we're gonna kick it in the end zone, so there's not gonna be no
Yeah.
return. And so when you
Right.
kick the ball short like that, you're actually kicking against what the team is actually out there to do. They really out there for you to kick it in the end zone. They go to the sideline. Then all of a sudden you kick it in play, right?
Now we got
Now they like, oh man, we got to go make a play. You know,
right.
What I like
So,
about Tory
he got to
Taylor,
shore that up a little bit. He got to get that ball in the end
Tory
zone.
Taylor is putting some torque on this football to whereas when it hits, it either bounces up, it bounces this way, or it bounces back. It's almost like when he kicks it, he's either forcing you to catch it or forcing you to let it go. And it's like he's almost like he's like giving us like an extra, because that last week when he hit that 63-yard punt and it rolled out, I'm like, if he could kick like this, man, that's like a plus, huge plus.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so hey man, ain't nothing like a victory Sunday, man. For Bears fans, it makes our weeks so much better. And then I guess for the fake pretender Bears fans, it makes them mad, right? Because they want the Bears to lose and pretend like they Bears fans. So pretenders, they upset. But the people who actually are, they happy you win. Victory is a victory. And next week, I believe the game is it London? Where they playing?
London,
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Jacksonville.
We
Yeah.
played against Golden Boy.
I think they're
Trevor
going to be in
Lawrence.
London, isn't it?
He's having a rough season. He's having a rough year, man.
It's a hair care product issue for him, man. We need to take him to Latisse Beauty School and let them give him a real perm and some finger waves.
Wow. He need to team up with Troy Polamalu, man, and Patrick Mahomes, man. Get some of those endorsements for Head and Shoulders. He'll be all right.
I'm telling you, man, he'll have that George Jetson snap on here if he go to Latisse.
Hey, he reminds me of Sunshine.
He sure does.
Sunshine's on Remember the Titans, man.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Joe Blow.
Yeah.
You know what? That's going to be a contract that team is going to regret. I don't even understand why they gave it to him last year. I mean, if they was going to do anything last year, they probably should have just franchise tagged them if they was going to do anything. Yeah. That'd have been better than what they did. And I think what we're going to see is the two worst contracts that on probably three that's going to, I'm going to say two for sure, that was given out in recent years is going to be Watson and Trevor Lawrence is going to be the worst contract.
The Giants, he sucks too.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. He's not as bad as those two. Both of
those. Nobody sucks more than Caleb Williams, man. Dude is terrible, man.
Wait, but you got Gardner Minshew over Caleb right now? You got Gardner Minshew?
Everybody over Caleb right now.
Except
for Tyson Bagent.
Bagent should be starting. You're right, Judah Tribe. He should be starting. You're right. Exactly.
Look, right. The way he kneeled the ball today, man, Justin, I mean, Caleb would have never kneeled the ball like that. He would have never kneeled the ball.
Right. That's the best victory formation I've ever seen. Yo, absolutely.
Justin would have fake kneeled it, came around the corner, double split off two people, and then took it to the house. Man.
Nah, that's a Justin Fields move, man. No,
that's what I said.
Tyson is pretty good, but Justin would have definitely had a 100-yard touchdown on that one, man. Easy, man. Easy.
On the kneel down. He would have just scored on the kneel down.
Man.
No, but see, that's just like Caleb would have done it. He'd have went all the way to the 1-yard line and fell off and fumbled.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's get ready for next week. We have the 2-minute drill coming up on Thursday. All y'all invited if y'all want to come on where we just talk about ostensibly quarterback play. And then Friday, we'll be back for the pregame show. And then all those who out there watching it, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. And subscribe to Bears Banter and share Bears Banter with your friends. Push the button. Right. Hey, Tim, thanks for sitting in with us. Hey, bro, you coming back, right?
Yeah, Q's. I shall return. Return.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
All right.
Shout out to Andre, too. Andre is the Bruz.
Oh, what's up, Andre? Okay.
Rue dog. Rue.
All right. Hey, until next time, peace.